daily quiz reminder ready. Here is your daily quiz reminder, listeners. You still have a chance to answer our quiz question. Send those answers in to pound 9870 for your chance to win one of our awesome prizes. Now, we all know that we want to get out there and travel, listeners, but we all travel in different ways. Let's say you want to go from Mokpo to Gwangju or from Gwangju to Seoul. There are many ways you can go. You can go by car, you can go by bus, you can go by train. However, when you're traveling internationally, things get a little bit trickier. Of course, you still have options. Let's say you want to take a quick trip to Japan and you think to yourself, how can I go? Multiple ways. You can go by ferry, hydroferry, or plane. If you want to go to, say, Jeju-do, you've got your options of plane or ferry. But if you want to go to other countries, not close, those options are limited to pretty much one, which happens to be our quiz question for today, listeners. How do Korean people usually travel to other countries? Your choices are A, by bus, B, by train, or C, by plane. If you know the answer to that, send us a text right now to pound 9870. Keep in mind a short text will cost you 51, a longer text will cost you 101. But sending in the right answer, you have a chance to win some lovely prizes, which include a gift certificate from Bitgao Women's Hospital, a 10,001 gift card from Bakery Erickson in Yeongwon, and our department store gift voucher sponsored by Medifil Center. Up next is part 3 and 4, where we are going to be talking all about travel today on What Are You Doing? So stay tuned and join us. You're tuned in now to GFN on 98.7 FM in Gwangju and 93.7 FM in Yeosu. Throughout history, humans have been curious about the world around them. We are almost always doing, seeing, making, or thinking about something. Our curious nature leads us to ask our friends, family, neighbors, and acquaintances, what are you doing? Join us to find out. In the studio, I'm your host, Kayla Nichols, and welcome now to What Are You Doing?
Hello.
Ladies, gentlemen, hello. Hello. What are you doing? Say hello.
Hello, Kayla.
Hi. Okay, so let's start with Frank, because Frank, we were getting a little bit worried. 깜짝이야.
왜요?
시간.
It's transportation.
Far? Like, do you have to take a taxi too?
Yeah, I had to. Today I had to.
Are you sure it's the transportation that is the problem?
Elvis, we're going with transportation.
Okay.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, fist, fist.
Okay.
Transportation.
Let's go the safest way.
Okay.
Okay, so is your taxi ride like a long time or?
No, in the morning it's sometimes it's hard to get.
Oh, to get a taxi?
That's true.
Mostly because I live in kind of a busy place.
Okay.
Taking taxi are too many, so it's hard to get one.
Do you like going by taxi? Is that your favorite way or?
Most convenient.
Taxis are very convenient but expensive.
맞아요.
Very convenient.
But if you think about it, probably less expensive than owning a car and the, fees associated with that. Tax, insurance, gas, upkeep, maintenance, accidents.
In a taxi, I feel like, it's my car for just 2 minutes or 5 minutes.
Right.
Just my car.
Right.
You have a driver.
You have a driver.
Yeah, you have a driver. And you get to boss him around. 왼쪽, 오른쪽. 아니야, 직진.
That was hard, like giving directions in Korean.
Oh.
But these days, thanks to one application, it's good. I can just input their location and I don't need to talk anything.
Has a taxi driver ever taken you like the wrong way? 한 번 나는 택시 갔어요. 우리 직진 가고 필요해. 하지만 택시 아저씨 오른쪽 갔어요. 나는 어디 가요? 아마도 택시 아저씨 생각해 나는 새로운 사람. 그래서 아니야 저는 우리요. 왜 가요? 아니야 괜찮아. 나는 말했잖아. 만원 시작 끝났어요. 끝. And he kind of looked at me, and then he looked down, and then he looked at me. He was like, 네, 알겠습니다.
Oh.
And then 갔어요. But his little meter reader thing was like 18,000원. And I was like, 10,000원 여기서. And he was like, 네, 알겠습니다, and just wouldn't look at me and just drove off.
Because it's a thing they do actually.
Yeah.
Sometimes they take you round to get
To the roundabout way.
I act like I'm the local if I'm in a new city. I'm like, oh
When
no.
he turned, I was like, 죄송합니다. 하지만 어디 가요? And he goes, 걱정 마, 우리, you know. And I was like,
shortcut.
아닙니다.
They say it's shortcut.
왜 직진 안 갔어요? 나는 2007년 왔어요. 왜 직진 안 갔어요? 진짜 죄송합니다. 나는 알았어요. 10,000원. Good.
You were very
Yeah,
brave.
yeah.
Well, because all I had was 10,000원.
Oh.
돈 없어요.
Wow.
그냥 10,000원. 그래서 괜찮아. Just enough money to get me there. And,
Yeah, right.
But it's good, like me, I tell them before they start. Like today, he was trying to stop me all the way down there, the road. He wanted me to climb all the way, so I told him never.
No.
What's the use of taking the taxi?
Exactly.
So you find yourself sweating on the road.
Yeah, it's 너무나 덥다, right? So
Yeah.
it's too hot to be climbing the big hill up to the radio
Right.
station. By the time you get here, then you're like,
That was me.
덥다. Elvis, how are you? How did you get to work today?
I walked here as usual.
Yes.
Very convenient.
Was
the
it
most
hot?
convenient.
너무나 덥다.
It's very hot. You know, I
Yeah.
can't believe it's the last week of July already.
Yeah.
In a few days, and it's August, and you start thinking of school again.
Yeah.
From-
아니야.
Which is good.
갑자기
Which is
not,
good.
not for me. 근데 잘 하고 있어요. 잘 살고 있어요. 저는. 네. 에어컨만 있으면 돼.
맞아. You're right in front, so I'm a little bit jealous.
Exactly.
And water. And you need water.
많이
Yes.
물을 마셔요.
Yeah.
그래, the most interesting person who got here today is April. Because
Yeah.
April, how did you get to work today?
So first to Mokpo Terminal, my dad drove me there.
Okay.
So I was lucky.
Private
Then-
car?
Yes. And then from terminal, I went here by 고속버스.
By bus?
Yeah. And then I took the local bus.
City bus?
From
City bus.
city bus from
Okay.
the U Square to here.
Whoa.
Yes.
That's a very long journey.
Yes.
So April just loves us so much that she's here for us.
Exacto.
All right, listeners, What Are You Doing is meeting you in multiple ways. If you have not done so already, while our voices and music come out on the radio, this show is being live streamed on NawTube. So you need to check out channel GFN. Come and join us every Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. on NawTube, 11 a.m. to 11:45 a.m. out on the radio. Please, please don't forget to click like and subscribe to channel GFN, and then you won't miss a thing.
매주 수요일 11시에서 12시 GFN이 라디오뿐만 아니라 너튜브로도 여러분을 찾아갑니다. What are you doing? 이름하여 뭐하니?
All right, and what we are doing today is we're talking about transportation.
Yes.
Hence all of my questions about how you guys got to work today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Usually when you go somewhere, what is your preferred way to travel? 어떻게 가고 좋아요? How do you like to go? Like if I have to travel anywhere, pretty much, I prefer my own car.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Because 많이 사람 버스에서
Right.
걱정해요. 사람 버스에서 and then like they sit at the back and 생각해 driver 안 보여 and mask 없어.
Right.
Or like down over their half their mouth or and you're just like
Yeah.
다른 앉아요 없어.
And if they start like coughing, you're like,
Oh, that's
You know,
Right?
these days coughing has
Yeah.
become kind of good.
And even if it's like air quality cough or you're drinking your coffee
Yeah.
and it goes down the wrong way and you're like don't cough because
I
I
Yeah,
know, and you're like,
exactly.
you have to hold it in. It's like,
your face gets red. Yesterday I had a headache and people were like 왜 머리 아파요?
why?
때문에 몰라요. I don't know.
아프면 안 돼요 요즘.
요즘 그냥 살짝 아파도 그냥 배가 아파도
맞아요.
you just try to think it's corona, but which is really far from
Yeah.
Right.
having a stomach.
But still, any little thing that twitches on your body and you're like, oh my god, Do I need a test?
Yeah,
Like if I search for a symptom, like everything is corona.
Oh, exactly. That's the other
Right.
thing.
I'm like, oh my god, do I have
Oh
it?
my goodness.
그래서 이번 년 this year 나는 좋아요. 혼자 or
That's true.
애들 같이
맞아요.
괜찮아요. 하지만 even sometimes in my car, if my windows are open and I'm too close to like another car whose windows are open and they're smoking, I'll just be like 담배 있어요? 마스크 툭툭툭툭. 왜냐면 아마도 smoke 담배 해서 나이 자동차 왔어요, and I think to myself, is there coronavirus in that 담배? Like,
Right.
Yeah,
plus
sure, why
also 나쁜 냄새.
That's
So I'm
a
like,
kind of trauma.
but I try not to be like overtly. I'm just be like,
not?
Right.
and the window goes up. I won't look, and just the window goes up. But then it gets 너무나 덥다. And I'm like, I'm dying in the car. So let's start, I guess, with Frank then. Frank, what is your preferred way to travel around the city? Not intercity, but in the city.
Inside the city?
Yeah.
I'm just a case-by-case person. Sometimes I prefer, if the weather is good, I prefer walking.
Yeah.
Okay.
If the weather is good, like 봄가을,
Define good.
like, yeah.
봄가을.
Like if it's cold, I may say cold to me means that I can walk because I need to heat myself. So I need to walk. But in a weather like this in the summer, you gotta take a taxi or just a bus.
너무나 덥다. And 물 많이 마셔야
Yes.
필요해. 왜냐면
Yeah.
너무나 덥다. Okay, so what about you prefer bus, not taxi?
I prefer a bus. Like
Okay.
a bus is cheaper.
Because of cost.
Price wise.
Yeah.
But about the comfort, that's
Taxi.
another thing. Yeah.
All right, how about you, Elvis?
For me, generally, within the city, I like to ride around as much as possible.
Your bike,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Okay,
Because I
yeah.
feel it's the safest way and very convenient.
Mm.
Yeah. But
And environmentally friendly.
exactly.
I wish I
Oh,
would ride.
Man, get a bike.
Yeah. You could get a little small scooter. That would be
Oh, yeah.
inexpensive.
I need to learn how to use it first.
But exercising like Elvis on an actual bike is probably really good for your
Yeah.
health,
Yep.
except in this heat.
In this, 이제 어쩔 수 없을
맞아요.
때는 이제 버스나 운전하거나. 예. So,
많이 사람 걱정 아니야?
걱정 많이 해요.
하지만 bus.
Yeah.
Still
no
bus.
choice.
Like when there's totally no choice. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. But I try to ride around, or I'll rather even walk somewhere. Yeah.
Right, right.
Uh-huh.
어떡하죠? 이제 사람 봤어요. 마스크 없어. 더른 마스크 like 코 없어. 어떡하죠? What do you do?
I try to keep as far away as possible. 최대한 멀리
Turn
있어야죠.
away from them.
네,
I'm
네.
not. I don't see
왜
them.
그래요?
Yeah, we just go out of the bus. Immediately.
Sometimes I just pretend to be using the phone and talk about masks.
Masks.
마스크 있어.
Make them feel
네네네. 코, 입 괜찮아요. 걱정하지 마세요. 마스크 아니. 진짜 괜찮아요.
But the
And then
problem,
just make eye contact.
the problem these
Oh.
days is you say about mask.
Right.
What if the person is wearing
The
earphones?
Bluetooth earphones.
Like people really sometimes, like in the bus, many of them are wearing this
Oh,
earphones.
my
But the
God.
effort counts.
You have to like scream them.
You have to scream or
through the
just
ear.
slap the
But if
person.
you're looking at them when you're talking, eventually they'll turn the music off to see if they
Like
can
what-
understand what you're talking about, or if they're talking. Because sometimes people just looking around, they're not paying attention. Oh la la la, 누구세요? And then they'll focus on one person, like 셔츠 좋아요, 돈은. 손시계 너무나 예뻐 이렇게. But they don't realize they're staring at something.
Right.
So then people will tend to, at least I turn the music off just to see if are they talking about me or something? 아마도, maybe.
Or just point.
사람 마스크 있어.
Or you just look at the person with an angry face.
How can you tell anger though? To be honest, with a lot of
the-
masks on these days, all I see is eyes.
Yeah.
Are you
Yes.
smiling or angry?
You have to
gotta
frown.
Yeah. You
Really
have,
exaggerated frown.
you have to exaggerate it so it can be visible.
Just can you do one eyebrow up? Just be like,
I can.
what are you doing?
Well, I
Hey,
do.
뭐하니? 마스크 뭐하니?
But I hope everybody wears a mask.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Please do, listeners. I mean, we're especially with the global situation,
Yeah.
especially with the situation within Gwangju. Just
Oh,
wear a
yeah.
mask. Okay, April,
No.
you're on the hot seat.
Oh,
Your
okay.
favorite way?
It's the bus. Usually.
Really? Okay.
And like, I sanitize a lot when I'm in the bus.
Right.
Like, I would just like spray every like 5 minutes.
I have spray I carry in my bag just
Yeah.
in the chair. And
Like, I would just like sanitize
Yeah,
my
yeah.
hands a lot, and like if I touch the bell, like
Oh,
right
right.
after, I would like sanitize.
Well,
and then,
right.
Yeah. In that way. Like, I think, I don't know, like taxis are too like,
Peace and moi.
yeah, pizza for me.
네.
Like for me, like it seems like a waste
맞아요.
for me.
Right.
So like
Okay.
maybe I'll sacrifice myself to the virus. but then again, I have
I took down April. Yes. Who's next? Pray.
I have the first vaccine for now,
Ah, yeah,
and I'm
I do.
still
Pray,
being like
Mateo.
safe without
Right.
taking my mask off or touching it. I don't even
Mateo.
touch it when I'm like outside with
Okay,
in
right.
the public. So
This may surprise you, but pre-coronavirus 전에 우리 situation 나는 기차 좋아요. I love the train. You can walk or go to the bathroom or eat or drink. You go by so fast.
Yeah.
Speeds 100km.
Yeah, that's true.
You know? And then you're always like you're slowing down and you don't feel car sick. You can travel long distances. 기차 너무나 좋아요.
That's true.
You can walk from car to car,
Yeah,
see
that's
people.
true.
And some trains, like the slow milk run train, has an upper
네.
car where the ceiling is like
Oh, I've never rode on it.
glass. It's not glass, plastic.
Mhm,
I don't know,
But
see through.
See-through.
So you can like see all
Oh
the
my.
countryside
That's
whipping by, and you're like,
cool.
oh, the mountains. And if you take it at night, 너무 예뻐요. You can see
that'd
the
be
sun going. Chua chua. Okay, so obviously we are talking about transportation and some differences, etc. Right? So I want to start with April. What is transportation like in Korea? You're representing Korea today.
Yes. So I've not been in many countries, but I personally think South Korea has one of the best transportation systems.
I agree.
At least the ones that I've been to. And the population density of Korea is pretty high. It's actually the 24th of the world.
Wow.
But I researched our countries too, and Rwanda is 25th, right next to Korea.
Wow.
Kenya, 119th.
Ouch.
And then Canada is 223rd.
No way. I
So this
believe
is
that.
this is the data from United Nations 2019, so it's
Right.
pretty recent. So I think the transportation system is pretty organized compared to the population density,
Right.
especially in Seoul. And we have really good map apps that are really helpful in knowing traffic jams and estimating time for public transportations.
Right.
So I think that's very convenient.
Okay.
So one of the things that are represented in Korea, especially in Seoul, is the 지옥철. So jam-packed subway. I don't know if you've all been in there.
Oh, I've experienced
Yes.
it. It is intense, listeners. If you have
Right.
not, you cannot imagine what it was like.
So yeah, when I was in Seoul for work, I personally experienced it in line 9, which was like one of the busiest lines in Seoul, especially during rush hours. And yeah, they're pretty harsh. Like I would sometimes miss the station that I wanted to stop because I couldn't get out.
Right?
Or sometimes I had to wait like 3 trains to pass by until I can squeeze into the next one.
I was actually shocked because they
Yeah.
had hired someone whose sole job it was to
Push.
push
In
people.
Seoul?
Yeah,
And I was like near the back and I was like, why is this person
know.
pushing
I
me?
know it was so.
And they pushed me onto the train. I thought, that's so
I
rude.
know. I've experienced that
Yeah,
too.
they didn't get on because their job is literally to cram as many people on so that the doors will just
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
And I thought I could lift my legs off the floor right now and still be held up by the people around me.
And
It
I'm
was
short,
intense.
so like if I'm surrounded
That
by
would be
people
worse.
that are taller than me, like I only see their like chest around me, and I'm like I feel really uncomfortable in this situation. Like
I don't mean to laugh, but that's a little bit
funny.
funny.
yeah, especially in the summer, it's like
Oh,
Gross.
Oh my-
no.
oh my
It's
that would
really
be
bad.
awful. I was
Oh
thinking
my
more like wintertime with everyone's puffy coats and
Uh-huh.
bags.
no,
Yeah,
that's like
that's
soft.
better.
Like I can feel like
Uh-huh.
their puffy jackets around me, and I would feel like
Oh,
it's
no.
cozy. But
Sweaty
like,
bodies.
I know,
and-
especially in the
Not in
summer,
summer.
it's like
I
I
hope
don't.
this time is not the same case, right?
Well,
No, not
With the
really.
current
now,
situation.
yeah, it's better now.
That would be the worst.
And it was pretty bad.
I've heard of the person that pushes people into the subway, like in Japan, but
Yeah, you've seen like
In
videos,
Korea,
right?
too.
in Korea,
It was
that's-
intense.
How do you push?
Like, they literally
just
push,
you
yeah.
into the subway, like
You know,
And
people
I was
cannot
in
be
the air, I'm like,
sort
Yeah,
yourself
You
inside.
could
Yeah.
put your feet off, and I'm like, if kids were in here, no way. I'd be
Oh,
like
no,
holding babies.
no.
Okay, so moving on from
Yeah.
the subway, what's the next?
So traffic jams are common in any countries during rush hours, but in Korea, traffic jams are really bad around holidays, especially Chuseok. So I remember when my sister was new to driving and we were coming down to Mokpo from Seoul, and it took us exactly 12 hours.
Right.
And so since then, she's a better driver now, but I take the express bus whenever
Yeah.
I can.
You're not kidding.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's not, to be honest, I don't think it's anything about your sister's driving.
True.
It took us 9 hours to go from Gwangju to Seoul.
Yeah.
I didn't realize there was that much traffic. And then 9 hours later, I was like, we had to stop at every rest stop.
Yeah,
because I just couldn't.
us too.
You're on the road so often.
Uh-huh.
It's a 4-hour drive.
I
Frank's
know,
brain
yeah.
is like, wait a minute,
Trying
what do you
to-
mean
yeah.
9 hours?
Yeah, 9 hours.
So
what were you
take the
doing?
bus.
What
What are
were
you
you
doing? like
The-
walking? No.
The cars literally don't move.
Yeah, like
Was
they-
the car still working?
Yeah, no, the buses have a dedicated bus lane. Cars
Yeah.
can't go in. So buses still made it 4 hours.
Yeah.
But everybody else on the other, like, 6 lanes,
Mhm.
you would move, like, 2 inches in 10 minutes.
Mhm.
You'd be like, and then park.
Right.
Wait. Park. Wait.
Yeah.
It's intense.
Yep.
Sorry for you.
No.
That's why I only take the bus to Seoul now. Or the
Right.
train.
Right.
So, yeah. Okay, so 12 hours is nothing.
Yeah, it's
It's
so
like a drop in the park.
so 12 hours were nothing back in the early 90s actually. So there's a picture that I found on internet which shows people just walking around the highway with their cars stacked in line like they're parking the cars on the highway.
I thought you were joking.
No, there's a picture. I hope you can see that from YouTube. And
Wow.
people were going to Daejeon during Chuseok. This picture shows that people were going from Daejeon to Daejeon, and which took 17 hours from Seoul. Usually, it doesn't take that long. Yeah,
Forget it. I would be like, nope, sorry. I'm just
and
going
yeah,
home now.
Daejeon is not even halfway to Gwangju from
Yeah,
Seoul.
맞아요.
So like, if you imagine 17 hours
Oh
just
my
to go
goodness.
there, it's
That's
like
a trip to Kenya.
Monday.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah, of course nowadays highways are a lot better to drive, although traffic jams are still common.
Right.
There are a lot more lanes, express toll gates, and many hugesos, right? Rest stops. And toll gates are actually, like, the fees are free for big holidays, so I think that's a good
Yes.
option.
Yeah.
Except we want to caution because last year, I think last now they were not free to
Oh, right.
discourage
Yeah,
people
yeah.
from driving.
Yeah,
Because
of
we were in a
COVID, yeah.
wave of the pandemic. Hopefully, gosh, listeners, if we can crush in the next like 2 weeks this particular wave,
Yeah,
maybe by the time Chuseok comes this year, everything will be opened up. But let's do our part, right?
right.
Okay. So, but not everything is terrible and doom and
Yes.
gloomy.
So not everything is bad in Korea about transportation. So there's something called Transport Culture Index, 교통문화 실태조사, done by Korean Transportation Safety Authority.
Right.
It is a numbered index for the driving behaviors, pedestrians' behaviors, and traffic safety. So
Okay.
it's like all included, and they do this every year. And in 2020, Gwangju was actually number 1 out of all the cities and provinces, with 84.03 points out of 100.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so like, go Gwangju.
Yeah. I will say, I think personally that I can't really speak to Seoul because I don't never
Yeah.
rode the subways. The subway in Gwangju for me is useless. It doesn't come anywhere near
Yeah, I've
my.
never used it,
There's
actually.
there's one line. Now I do know that they're expanding it,
Yeah.
obviously, right? But there's like one line. It doesn't come anywhere near my area. I can't use it, right? But the bus system
Oh, yeah.
in Gwangju is the best bus
Yeah.
system than any city I've ever lived in or
Right.
been in. It's amazing. So I will give Korea that. Very cool. We just have a tiny bit left. Who wants to start? And then we'll finish after in the second half. Who wants to start their country? Frank or Elvis?
Alright.
Yeah.
Frank, okay.
That's good.
So if I talk about transport in Rwanda,
Right.
it will be not a big difference with Korea,
Okay.
but there is something maybe I want to mention before anything else. We have bicycles, like you can find these bicycles on the road, like Chikuta on the roads.
Okay.
Recently they introduced like the public bicycles. So if you feel kind of annoyed to take a bus or to wait for a bus, you
Right.
just go and grab a bicycle for free.
Oh, free. 돈 필요 없어.
Upset.
That's really good.
네.
And the bicycles, they're really pretty. I wish I could ride a bicycle. I would go and take it. They are really nice. They are made in the flag of Rwanda. They are very beautiful when you see
Do
them.
people
on the
take care of them?
Yeah, they do. They
Because that
have to.
annoys me here in Korea. They have
Yeah.
bikes. You have to pay
Like
for them,
everywhere.
but people do not take care of them.
No.
It drives me batty.
They do take care of them. Because
Okay.
That's
people
good.
they have been taught about being responsible
Right.
since a
Respectful.
long time ago. So
Got it.
people really take care of it.
All right.
Yeah.
Listeners, we need to take a station break. We also need to take a song break, but don't go anywhere. In the second half, we're going to talk more about transportation, and Frank is going to give us more Rwandan transportation ways, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's listen to a track by EXO. It's called Tempo. Enjoy the music. We'll be back. So, my point being is that when things are free,
Yeah.
in
I
my
know.
experience, people are less careful with
yeah.
things that are
Way
free
less.
because they didn't spend their own money on it. They don't care. It's not theirs. They don't
Yeah.
have to pay any money for like upkeep. That's usually why people, even if they're like rehoming animals or something like that, they charge like an adoption fee because people will be less likely to be careless with things that
And
cost
more
them money.
responsible. Yeah.
But something to know is like people in Rwanda, they are very responsible.
Exactly.
Like very
Rwandan people are
responsible.
very nice. That's I can say.
Whatever they do, even if you leave something there, they'll take care of it.
I
They're
do
very responsible.
like that aspect of going to places. Like even in Korea, if you
Yeah,
leave
that,
your
yeah.
bike, you don't actually have to chain it up because the
Yeah.
chances of it being stolen are, I mean, it's not unheard of. It does happen.
Yeah.
Things
It
do
does
get,
happen.
things
Yeah.
do
I'll
get
take the
stolen.
bike tire.
Of course,
I've
it's-
seen people take bike seats, and I'm
And
like,
seats,
that's
yeah.
rude.
I know.
Like, leave the seat. Come on, guys.
But I think for Korea, like bikes are the most common to be like taken by someone.
Stolen, yeah.
Only bikes.
really?
Do you
Yeah.
know, though, I had a
Bike?
friend
Yeah.
in Seoul
Holy
who had a
hell.
scooter. Somebody stole her scooter, and
Oh.
then 3 days later brought it back fixed. There was a
What?
part on her scooter that was broken. I think someone stole it or needed it for whatever, and then fixed it, filled it with gas, and brought it back.
Wow.
And she, to this day, never figured out who.
Maybe, maybe
Stole
it
her
was the
scooter.
police.
That one is
Really
not stealing.
interesting.
It
That
was
one
borrowing.
is not stealing. They had mercy on the bike.
That's borrowing.
That's,
That's borrowing if you bring it back, stealing if you don't.
you would wish.
알았어요.
Imagine if somebody takes your car,
Uh-huh.
maybe it has a problem, goes fixes it, makes it really nice, beautiful, and brings it back.
Okay,
Is that
who
stealing?
does that?
Exactly.
Nobody would
That's
know.
the
Anyone who's going to
question.
take somebody else's property doesn't know there's a problem. They're
Yeah.
taking it for nefarious.
I guess the person really needed it for that.
Right?
Yeah.
I thought, okay, the next time something of mine breaks where I don't want to pay for it to fix, I'm going to leave it out
Yeah.
and see if that happens.
No.
One volunteer would be there. 봉사자.
With a note, would you like to borrow this bike? Please fix it. Bring it back.
Wow.
No,
No.
not going to happen, right?
No.
No.
I just find that really interesting. I'm so glad that people take care of this. You've seen those
Yeah.
little scooters, right,
Yeah.
around Gwangju, or sometimes the yellow bikes.
Yeah.
They're left I've seen them left in front of cars, left in garbage heaps.
Uh-huh.
I had to move one once because they left it right in front of my car. There's nobody to call to tell them to move
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
So I lifted it and started moving it. It beeped at me.
Oh yeah.
Beep, beep,
That's-
beep, 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 beep. And I was
Right.
like, I'm not stealing it.
Oh no.
I just need to get my car.
But I wish I would be able to ride this Chikuta. They're very convenient.
That's
In
the
school.
thing to do.
But there's
In school,
There's a
it's
license
kind of-
yeah, you
too.
need, and
Yeah.
you should wear a helmet, listeners. Anybody who's gonna wear one. I've seen police pulling over like kids, because there's no age limit. There's no
Yeah.
way to
Yeah.
check
Yeah.
ages. They
Yeah.
just swipe to pay, and they can do. So I've seen like 2 or 3 people trying to crowd on it. Nobody had
Oh
helmets.
my god.
They got stopped by police.
That's what I hate about those. Like at first it was okay. Actually, like when they were first introduced, I tried to ride them and it was really fun. But after that, like people just became careless with them. There were many
Yes.
accidents. You see people riding more than two people, and like, what the?
Right. Riding on the street, riding on the
Yeah.
sidewalk,
Mhm.
riding all
Yeah.
over,
Uh-huh.
turning.
Because the rules are not very
jaywalking.
fixed for them.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
jaywalking with that speed.
Yeah.
Is like I've seen like videos where like the car was just going even though it was going slow, this
Yeah.
like scooter just like
Darted out
bypasses
of-
it and then
right.
got hit.
Could you imagine the person? I mean, because a car can't stop that fast.
Yeah.
They wouldn't. It's not their fault, but like,
Yeah.
are we just our time?
Yeah.
Be careful of the time. We are back, listeners. If you're just joining us, what are you doing today? Today we're talking about transportation. We've already talked about Korean transportation, and I'm sure you have stories, listeners. We would love to hear them, pound 9870. But we've moved on to Kenya, I believe, right? No, Rwanda.
Rwanda.
Right. With the bikes that are
Yeah.
free, that people don't misuse. So, hey, listeners out there, if you're thinking to yourself, but I've seen tons of bikes and scooters in Korea, maybe if you see people riding them, you ask them if they're not being responsible. Could you be a little bit more responsible about that, right? Okay, so I'm going to keep using, what's next?
So the next thing in Rwanda, people use bus a lot.
Buses,
A
okay.
lot. You have to use the bus either inside the city or going intercity.
Okay.
Everything is bus.
Bus.
Of course, sometimes some people like businessmen prefer to just use planes to some other cities.
Wow. Yeah.
We have
That's
some.
when you're rich. And
We have some domestic. Same as
Flights.
Korea, we have some
Which
domestic
doesn't make sense
airports.
because
Yeah.
like, Rwanda is a
Like
very small
private.
country.
Right.
I'm telling you, Rwanda is
People
very
take
small.
planes from Gwangju to Seoul, you
I know.
know.
Yeah,
so-
a lot of people do.
Like if there's a place where you can take a bus for 6 hours,
Right.
but if you take a plane, that
Yeah,
will be
yeah.
only 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
Some people really prefer that, but
Well,
it
if you're on a
depends.
time crunch, I guess.
Exactly.
It depends on
Very
your wallet.
busy people.
Right.
Yeah.
When it comes to buses,
Yeah, and
I can
that.
imagine that would be expensive.
when it comes to buses, we have this Kyoton card like Korea,
Okay.
and it like the card is rechargeable, like same thing as Korea, and you just go and tap it, and you just enter the bus. The difference is, you know, in Korea when you tap like hata,
Oh.
you can transfer for free.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
So we
Yeah.
don't. There's nothing for free.
Oh, really?
Each ride, each bus you take costs you a certain
Yeah.
amount of money.
Oh.
And I'm very actually because the city, the Rwanda is kind of small.
Right.
If you're taking an intercity bus, you don't need to transfer.
Ah.
There's a line to probably everywhere you want to go. It's always
Right.
one way. So
Oh,
which
one
makes
way?
it easy.
Oh.
Like
So
it's
it-
easier for you to go. I'm going somewhere. I take the bus once.
Right.
Makes
Like,
sense.
Got it.
Yeah, there are many stops, so you can easily go to the place.
Is there a subway in Rwanda?
No,
Oh, okay.
No subway.
I don't think we need
Because
it.
it's like the population density is like really similar with
yeah, correct.
of Korea. So I was
Oh.
wondering, like,
But you
Oh.
don't need it, right? There's enough buses.
I think the population density is not like the all Rwanda. Maybe
Right.
the capital city.
like
The capital city has the
Concentrated.
most population.
Right.
Same as Seoul. If you say
Yeah.
Seoul in Korea, that would be the same thing.
mhm.
But the transportation, the buses, and every other things, we also have motorbikes.
Right.
In Korea, motorbikes are used for pedal. But
Yeah, yeah.
motorbikes is like taxi. If you want to go fast, the motorbike will be the one to carry you.
But wheelmate, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Don't you
it's-
think
it's-
motorbikes are more wheelmate, more dangerous?
Yeah, but like the people who do it now, we have the same thing in Kenya. They are very good at riding. Like
Yeah, they're very
yeah,
nice.
yeah. So it's kind of safe and
But do they wear helmets?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
That's
I'm
right.
begging you, 제발
There are
많이
rules.
많이 사람 여기 왔어 or 여기 왔어요. Helmet 없어.
Yeah.
Like so many people I've seen.
Maybe you might think that because you know in Korea these motorbikes are very fast, super fast.
Yeah, but they're not wearing helmets either.
Now you have to if you're not wearing a helmet, you meet
Yeah.
a policeman on the road who will stop you.
Yeah.
Ah.
And before wearing a helmet, there is something like for hygiene. They'll give you a new it's kind of a net. You know this net you wear.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
hair?
Oh, okay.
You have to put it first before you wear a helmet because the helmet is used by many people.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you have to control your hygiene for your hair.
Right.
So it's very organized, and
That's actually
The
kind of
riders
really
are very
cool.
organized.
Yeah.
they have something like a cooperative, like it's a very organized thing. Like
Right.
it's not anybody who can just go and ride
Yeah,
and do
yeah.
whatever.
I feel like if I were going to have that much time on a motorbike, I might invest in my own helmet and just bring it with me.
Yeah.
But I'm that kind of person that doesn't like to
But
share.
that would make you, anytime you want to take a motorbike, you just have to carry all the helmet
Yeah, yeah.
everywhere.
I'd be okay with that. That's what a backpack is for. And
Yep.
hang off the backpack.
Your
Yeah.
backpack is already heavy.
알았어요, 알았어요.
Okay, also you can take a taxi in Rwanda.
Yeah.
We have taxis called Yego.
Yego.
After Yego means yes.
Ah.
If you call, say yes. So that's the meaning.
Yego.
So
That's
you call a
actually
taxi.
Cute.
Yego is the name of a very popular Kenyan this javelin thrower.
Oh.
Yego.
And there's a song we always call it Yego, Yego, Yego,
Yeah.
Yego.
You know, it's
The whole
amazing when you
song?
see that.
Because I could sing that. Yego, yego,
Yeah.
yego,
Yego,
yego.
Yeah.
Yego means ne in Rwanda.
Oh.
So we have taxis, like it's almost the same thing. The only thing that there's a difference with Korea is the chiacha.
Oh.
But recently they've been building a train road which
Yeah.
goes through all East Africa,
Oh wow.
even maybe Kenya.
Is it like, it's like a sleeper train?
Do you know about
Probably.
it?
Like cars where you can
Not a
tile?
It's train, just train.
Yeah, just
It's a train. It's a railway which joins many countries.
Right.
So
But like in Europe, if you take the Eurail, there's
Oh, yeah.
sleeper
Such a-
cars
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
if
I
you're
think
on the
it's-
train for like 3 days,
Mhm.
there's a place to like lie down. Sometimes.
I don't think
not
if you
really.
go to Kenya, we need to take all that time
Yeah.
because
Oh.
I can actually go to Uganda by bus, to another
Oh.
country by bus.
Yeah, yeah, actually.
On
Yeah.
Himdoro? Like,
No,
because
well,
you're going
It's
to a different
close.
country. There's
It's close. It's very
But
close.
still close, but you're going to a different country. It's not on Himdoro Ania.
I know, fantastic.
No.
That.
Borders and passports.
You don't need
and
you don't need visa.
Oh.
The countries have the same
We have
passport.
the same passport.
Oh, that's
so-
really
Oh,
nice. That's
actually,
really
even-
convenient.
Yeah,
even
like-
going from like Canada to the
Yes,
there's
yeah.
like huge border lines, passport,
Oh my
visas, you know.
It's much
Like,
easier.
what did you buy?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Exactly.
"Oh, I don't have any
Maybe
tags.
sufficient in the car.
I can easily visit Elvis
Yeah.
on the weekend
Yeah,
with just my Rwandan ID.
yeah.
Ah, that's
Like
really
no
convenient.
need for visa.
Yeah.
I would
That's
just
so
say okay.
Convenient.
I would just go to Kenya and come back to Rwanda anyhow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I find that very surprising,
Yeah.
actually. Okay. Any other transportation we want to talk about from
We
Rwanda?
can hear from Kenya.
Okay.
Let's move on to
Let's
Kenya.
go to Kenya. Well, similar to Rwanda, in Kenya, many people use buses.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but our buses are also like divided. We have like the intercity buses.
Right.
Yeah, which we have like for every like bus system, we have like several companies that operate.
Okay.
Yeah, so for the intercity buses, the ones that go far from to farther away different cities and other countries like Tanzania,
Okay.
Uganda, Rwanda. Yeah, and then when you come like within the city, people take buses because there are also many people in the city.
Right.
Yeah, but other than the big long buses, we also have like mini buses and 14-seater buses, which we generally call matatus.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So the unique feature about matatus is like their design and everything. They are really pimped up to look really nice. Some they have screens all over inside.
Wow.
Some have
Wow.
like video games and everything.
That's so cool.
I feel like
Yeah.
this is what you when you're having like a bachelor or a bachelorette party, the thing you rent to be like,
Yeah.
"Woo, party,
Let's party."
designated driver.
That's the feeling. When you get in, you don't want to get off.
Oh, that's so cool.
Where do you take that bus to then?
Yeah, to your home. Like it's just
Really?
a
It's
route.
like
It's just a regular-
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
cool.
It's very
Like
different.
I will wait for that bus and then pass all
I'm
the
waiting
normal
for
ones.
I'm waiting for the nice bus.
We have
People
that
do
in-
that actually.
Like Shiwe bus,
Yeah.
you find like a screen TV.
Yeah.
You can play wherever you like.
Ah.
In Korea, they will play you some TV stations, which sometimes you don't like.
Yeah, it's
Right.
not. It's like it's by the preference of the driver.
Yeah.
For us, it depends on the preference of the passengers.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
You have to tell them, oh, let's have some music or let's have some movie.
Right.
If it's a 3 hours light, you can watch a movie on the bus.
Oh, wow.
This is so different from
Yeah.
Canada. Any experience I've had in
Oh.
Canada on the bus,
Oh.
there's no TV that
Oh,
I remember on
please.
the bus.
Mhm.
There's like intercity buses, but if you want to go if you actually want to go to different cities, I think there's only like one that I know, the Greyhound, and basically
It's-
the
yeah.
oldest, stinkiest, cramped.
I think they stopped it now.
Oh, did
Greyhound?
they?
Yeah, they're
I was
not
gonna
doing
say
it
they
anymore.
only stop at like every
Oh
4 or
gosh,
5
I had
hours.
the worst
Oh.
experiences with Greyhound.
Sometimes there's a bathroom on the bus.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
That's why
always
they
broken.
don't. Yeah, that's why they don't stop. But if you have to sit next to the bus, nomina.
Oh,
Oh my
the
goodness.
smell.
What? Yeah, I
Oh
can
my gosh.
have flashbacks of the smell.
No, no.
Yeah. And otherwise, people take Via Rail, which is
Yeah.
like the only train that runs intercity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like in a lot of cities, like things I haven't heard from you guys, streetcars. Do you not have streetcars?
I know, yeah.
Streetcars
are
do
pretty
listeners
cool.
know what streetcars are?
I
don't
think
know.
that
I don't think
I think for our side of the world, those are things that weren't there from the first place. The
Yeah.
subways and the streetcars.
Yeah.
and
Right.
such. Yeah. So nothing like that.
I was gonna say I would imagine streetcars would be easier to put in. Streetcars listeners are basically like subway type train
Trains.
things,
Yeah.
but they run on tracks above.
Yeah. I think they have them in South Africa. Yeah.
Maybe in
Yeah,
South
yeah,
Africa
yeah.
or the northern
cool.
part
Yeah.
of Africa. Maybe.
Yeah, but for us,
Maybe it's like a European thing.
Possibly.
Yeah, exactly.
It somehow made it to Canada.
Obviously, right?
But yeah, like in my city, it's very small. It's like the same size roughly as like Damyang maybe.
Yeah.
Oh.
But the buses loop.
Mm.
They're not there's 4 bus lines. They go pretty much everywhere in my hometown, but they loop. They're not one way.
Okay.
So when I first came to Korea, I thought the buses looped.
Oh.
So I was like, I want to go downtown, so I got on one bus because I knew it was like getting to be the last bus.
Yeah.
So I got on one thinking it will loop and finish downtown. He kicked me off the bus in the
no.
middle of nowhere and was like, "Go that way, taxi." And I was like, "That way's dark. That way's light. I'm gonna go this
The
way
light
towards the light." But maybe he was right. But there was no taxis, and I didn't know the bank machine shut down between like midnight and 12:30. So I'm trying to get money out, and they're like, "No money." I was like,
Oh
"I don't know where I
no.
am."
So
How did you say
lost.
So then I literally, because I was literally about 2 weeks in Korea, I was a bit culture shocked.
Right.
I sat down and cried.
Oh no.
Outside, I was like, 돈 없어, 택시
no.
없어, 나는 몰라 어디 있어요, 한국말 없어. And then the convenience store guy was like, he came outside, looked at me, and went back inside, and looked at me. Came outside and looked at me, went back inside and looked at me. And he was like,
What should I do? What should I
어떡하죠?
do? What should I do?
어떡해? And then he just got like some, like the day old kimbap. And then he bought me a day old kimbap and coffee, and he was like, in Korean, he's like, 울지마, 하지 마세요, right? But in English, he was like, no, no. I was like, I don't have to unga. Because it sounded, he was like, no, and I was like, Then the bank started working and whatnot.
Wow.
Listeners, we have come to the end. We've run out of time for our show on the radio today. So, say goodbye, 여러분.
Yeah,
Are we starting again?
All right, it's also the end of Hello Korea for today. So thank you for joining me. Earlier in the show, we asked you, how do Korean people usually travel to other countries? We gave you the choice of A, by bus, B, by train, or C, by plane. The answer was C, by plane. Coming up tomorrow, we'll bring you the latest cultural news, and we will have our daily quiz. Suli will be in the studio with me for foodie trends in Korea. And lastly, Gogo will be here to talk about life and family and navigating that road on Juma Talk. Join us 10:05 a.m. to 11:45 a.m. Monday to Friday right here on GFN. Stay tuned for live coronavirus updates from TBS Seoul. Have a great day, and we'll meet you back here tomorrow. The last song for our show for today will be this track. It's by Psy with Sung Si-kyung. It's called 뜨거운 안녕. 뜨거운. 뜨거운. Double deal shit. 여러분.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
물
guys.
많이 마셔요.
다음 주 만나요.